Max and I were good friends with Matthew Mellon, who is an heir to, he's one of the Mellon families members, and he had an office at Bank of New York Mellon in Manhattan. And it's the oldest bank in America, and they just announced that they are going to custody Bitcoin for their clients. Pomp said eventually every company will join the revolution. But Bank of New York Mellon, so again, you know, all these people hoping just for violence from the state, hoping that you know, like Krugman, Nouriel Roubini, and Peter Schiff, all the last thing they have going for them is that perhaps the U.S. might start, you know, droning some of these people or kneecapping them or throwing them in a high security prison for the rest of their life. Like, that's the only thing, that's their last hope to, you know, make them feel less hateful about themselves.
Question. Why are they so pro-state?
I don't know, and I really don't care because whatever. Some people get left behind, and that's what revolutions are about. There were loads of people in France who were like, "Fuck you, people with your Enlightenment ideas. I want the king. I love the king," and that's what they're doing. Yeah. Question.
I have a question.
Question.
Peter Schiff says that he's a libertarian, and you know he's always talking about a smaller government. It would seem that Bitcoin would fit his ideology politically. That doesn't make sense to me.
Literally, I will fall asleep. And like yesterday we did this live stream and it went off air. Like essentially that it would be the same. I am like, I genuinely look into my eyes. Remember we looked into the cat's eyes?
Oh, I will look into your eyes. Oh my God.
That's showing you absolute lack of any sort of concern for what Peter Schiff thinks. Like, I genuinely don't care because I have something amazing and something relentlessly optimistic to look at. So I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, and that's not about Peter Schiff. So this Bank of New York Mellon, what they are is a custodian bank. So let's not name any more people. All those people who are statists, who hate you, who hate the freedom that you have because you have Bitcoin.
You mentioned the statists. Okay.
Understand that what is happening is Bank of New York Mellon is the largest custodian bank in America.
Right, that's true.
So what does that tell you as a former banker, Max? Like, what do you think as a custodian bank like Bank of New York Mellon, their position within the overall financial system, what does that mean? Do you think, say, Joe Biden has more power than Bank of New York Mellon? Do you think he'll go to Bank of New York Mellon and say, hey, Bank of New York Mellon, you can't custody Bitcoin?
No, you know, Joe Biden made his bones lobbying for the credit card companies. You know, he's lobbying for the financial industry. You know, he owes his whole career to Wall Street, so he'll do whatever Wall Street says. So he's not a factor in this. But as far as Bank of New York Mellon and their now move into Bitcoin, you know, this solves one issue that was bandied about as a stumbling block for Bitcoin adoption, and that is custody. So in other words, for the financial industry, for an insurance company, let's say, to have Bitcoin on its balance sheet, or to offer Bitcoin, or to offer Bitcoin insurance products, because we don't really have that layer yet built. There are some inklings of Bitcoin related insurance products, but the issue is custodianship of the Bitcoin, and you have to be able to comply with certain regulations in terms of what qualifies as a bona fide custodian. So Bank of New York Mellon, which is the biggest custodian in the country, and they've got trillions under custodianship. It's a huge business. It's one of those businesses where you make 0.01% per transaction, but you have so many transactions. It's like the plot of Office Space, you know, when they steal all that money based on fractions of pennies. That's essentially Bank of New York Mellon. And nevertheless, if they bring about bona fide, qualified, regulatorily recognized custodianship, then you've got another piece of the foundation upon which you can build this industry. Every single industry, you know, every single industry essentially is a software industry. Every industry is a software industry. You name me an industry, a company, and I'll point to a software company. There's no companies out there anymore that are not software companies. That's why people, you know, there's a retro love of vinyl records, because it's one of the few things in life that's not software. People harken back to those old days of, you know, vinyl records. It's not software. Or people like to bake bread at home because it's not software. You know, the era before software is a bygone era. But since the 1970s and accelerating exponentially up until current times, it's all freaking software. And the ultimate software is Bitcoin, because it turned money, which had been non-disrupted for 5,000 years, gold, has been disrupted and is now software and softwareized. And so every single company, every single nation will plug into the Bitcoin network. So, when we said many years ago, when you buy Bitcoin, when it was $10, $20, $50, it's like buying the internet, an actual piece of the internet protocol back in the early 1990s. The internet, the protocol is worth trillions and trillions. It's almost incalculably, priceless. It's the Mona Lisa. There's no price for the Mona Lisa. There's no price for the internet. It's incalculably valuable. The same thing for Bitcoin. There is no top for Bitcoin. The thing is just going to race ahead at 200% a year for 10 years. Then we might see, ratchet down to maybe only going at 100% a year. But literally, there's a $300 trillion global market that is going to all migrate over to Bitcoin. Do the frickin' math, Nouriel. You're supposed to be an economist. 2 + 2 = 4, not 7.92873 fractional reserve over the deficit of my intellect because I've been out drinking too much. No, that's not it, Nouriel. You've got to get with the program.
Right. So again, back to like the relentless optimism of the Bitcoin protocol and the world that is being revealed from of the fiat dark ages left behind. Let those people, the thing is, drowning people will often take you down with them. That's why on a flight as well, they tell you to put the oxygen on yourself first before you put it on somebody else. You got to save yourself first, and then, tell people about Bitcoin, but you can't save them. They have to save themselves. So if they want to hang out in the fiat dark ages, because in the dark ages, they are the corrupt, priests running around shaking down people for indulgences or selling them fake Jesus bones and stuff like that. Like, that's them. That's their world that they're comfortable with, and they're not ready for enlightenment. They don't want it. So that's been the case throughout history. People didn't want enlightenment. People didn't want the Renaissance. People didn't want to emerge from the Dark Ages. They wanted to stay back there.
Comment.
Okay.
I'd like to make a comment.
Oh God, this is gonna drive me crazy.
It's like when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl, suddenly everyone questioned Bill Belichick and his legacy. There was this question, who was really the master at New England Patriots? Was it Belichick or Brady?
Yeah.
Okay, Brady obviously is the genius and Belichick was not. So here you have Bitcoin. The question is, was Nouriel Roubini a smart guy because he called the crash of 2008, or was he just another hack, university hack? Bitcoin has proven him, like Brady has proven about Belichick, that Nouriel's a hack. He's really overrated, tremendously overrated, and his reputation is crashing every single new high of Bitcoin.